Get on the line. That's what I used to hear when someone would mess up over and over and over again. Get on the line. And for a while, I thought that that's what I wanted coaching. That's what coaching was: yelling, punishing, being in control, and all the time. But once I stepped into a coaching role myself, I started to see it differently. I was a JV soccer coach, and yeah, at first I wanted to do it the way that I was taught. Stay in school, stay in charge, be tough, set the tone. But I quickly realized players don't respond to control, they respond to connection. That's when it hit me. The best coaches don't just give orders, they build people up. Coaching isn't just about power, it's about trust. It's about leading in a way where your team wants to follow you. Not just because they're scared, but because they believe in you. And more importantly, because they know you believe in them. That's the most important part: believing in them, believing in your players. And if you want to lead like that, there are three things you have to do. Well, earn trust, speak their language, model the standard. Those are the only three things that you have to do to be a great coach. First, you have to just earn their trust. Before you can give direction, you can't push someone if they don't believe you're pulling for them. Trust doesn't come from calling plays. It comes from showing up consistently, especially outside of the game. When I was a coach, I started checking in on players about their grades, family, and how they were feeling, because I knew how important it was, not just about soccer, but about life. They built way more, like that built way more buy-in than any halftime speech ever could. Leadership author John Maxwell said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you really care. And that's not just a quote. Research backs it. Studies on transformational leadership showed that personal connection and trust are what drives performances over time. Second, you have to be able to speak your players' languages. They're not going to listen to you if you try to speak your language. Some athletes need energy, other needs hype. Other athletes just need calm. Some respond to direct criticism, others shut down from it. You can't coach everyone the same way and expect to get the best out of them. It's impossible. It never happens. When I coached JV, I had this one player who was insanely skilled but super reserved. If I called him out in front of everyone, he'd disappear, and I think that's why he was JV. But if I pulled him aside and asked him a question, he'd light up. Same coaching, just different delivery in a way that he could hear and understand. One size fits all, that doesn't work in leadership. It has to be tailored. And researchers like Joette and Crockerell found the athlete motivation goes way up when coaches adapt to their communication style to fit the player. Third, and this one probably the most important, this one's huge, you have to model the standard. If you're late, they'll be late. If you're distracted, they'll be distracted. But if you're consistently locked in and accountable, they will follow. They will follow your lead. Albert Barbuda, a leadership psychologist, talked about how people don't listen. They learn. They don't listen from what they're told. They learn from what they see. And that's especially true for leaders. All leaders want to see their coach or their mentor act how they're being told to act. Coaching is one of those rare roles where every single move that you make gets picked up and reflected back. So if you want your players to take responsibility, push themselves, and stay locked in, you better live that out yourself. So let's bring it home here. If you want to coach like a leader, not just a boss, earn their trust, speak their language, model their standard. Because the goal, it's not just to become a better performance, it's better people. Nobody's going to remember what you did on the JV soccer field 3 years ago. They're going to remember how you treat people and how you act as a person. I've seen firsthand how a coach can shape someone's confidence, their mindset, and even the way that they see themselves. And if you do it right, the impact lasts way longer than the season. That's real coaching. That's real leadership.